Drink it's just vodka. Okay, start now.
Vodka.
And we're live with It's Just Vodka. Welcome to Analysts After Work. For those that have joined the show before, I said last week at an event I would never have this many people on the show, and yet when the lovely Amy Riddell asks, you don't say no. And so, Amy, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to host Analysts After Work, the Project World Virtual Edition. Over to you, Amy.
Well, Vince, I would like to thank you for hosting.
Oh, stop.
Okay, so do we have people out there? I'm just looking for the chat.
Right now, it's just Jason.
Jason that works on my team?
Oh, no, wait. No, we got a bunch of people now. There's a bunch of people. 21 people. Go. Introduce. Start.
Okay.
Start.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. As Vince said earlier off there he is. He's here. Vince will chat like this every week. And last week we decided, okay, well, let's put together something for Project World. And who are we going to have on the panel? And I got very selfish because I was like, well, I want to invite all of the people that are, I don't want to say my favorites, but people from all over, because we run the event all over North America, right? So I thought, let's have representation from all the cities we run in. So we have Mr. Steve Jones with us from Boston.
Hello.
Boston Advisory Board. Woohoo to Steve Jones. We have Mr. Paul Crosby joining us.
Somewhere.
One of our most popular speakers. Welcome. Rachel Chung from Toronto, who spoke today. Thank you so much for being
making her debut.
Her debut. Mr.
Whoa.
AJ Hawley from our Project Summit BA World Orlando Advisory Board, right there.
Hello, everybody.
Erica Woods, who is one of today's featured speakers, who's also you're in Clearwater.
Yeah, Tampa Bay with AJ. So you must like Tampa the best, Amy, is what I'm really gathering from this.
We have Mr. Eddie Eisted from Victoria, BC. One of
Hello,
our
everyone. Nice to see you. Sorry I was late.
That's how people speak in Victoria.
You're good, man. You're good.
We all do.
And of course, Hans Ekman, you were on our Atlanta advisory board, but also one of our most popular speakers. So thank you, everybody, for being here. So Vince usually starts off these meetings by asking everybody, our panelists, and those of you who are watching, please chat away. What are you drinking? Steve Jones, we'll start with you.
Rusty Nail Neat.
Nice. Classy.
Good choice.
It is. That's very
Good choice.
And old
I like
school,
drinking.
too. Paul Crosby?
Oh, God. I'm sorry, it's just iced tea.
Okay, moving on. Rachel?
I'm not any better. It's just water.
AJ, don't let it down.
And Rachel is the first one to get herself cut.
You've been voted off the island.
Yes.
Officially, I'm drinking iced tea just like Paul is. Unofficially, I'm switching between Connemara and Lafroig.
Oh, nice.
So, little
I don't
peaty.
think they sell those in Canada. What is that?
Yeah.
So Connemara is an Irish peated whiskey, and
Oh, very
it's
nice.
probably one of the most popular peated whiskeys. There's a couple other ones, but that's it. And then Lafroig is basically the smokiest peaty Scotch. I don't say the most,
Are you
but one of the.
combining those? Or
No, God, no.
No.
I didn't know either.
And I can be a testimony that they absolutely do sell those in Canada. They definitely do. With maybe a nice Lagavulin or an Oban as well.
Yes, there you go.
Okay, well, let's go to you
All right,
next.
so you guys know what you're talking about, and so that means that this has to happen.
I'm a big fan of the PT and smoky whiskeys for sure.
Okay, well,
But, Amy, I'm going to disappoint you. I'm going to disappoint you right now. It is only 1:30 for me, and I've got the school pickup run after this. So I am drinking tea right now, but I can guarantee you all I will drink some whiskey after that.
That works.
Well done.
We would never ever want to encourage someone to drink some peaty whiskey and go pick up their 7
No,
and 2-year-olds
That's
from
ridiculous. No, that's just a ridiculous thing.
Exactly.
Erica.
You can take a taxi, I guess.
I am alternating.
You're hurting your
between
case.
water and a Goose Island IPA. I will be working out after this, so maybe half now, half later. What do we think?
Okay. I can get down with that.
We're down with it.
Sure can.
Yeah.
We're
It's not
down.
like I have any say. I can't come and like change anything. It's like I have no power.
I mean, you could make me feel horrible about myself.
I could, and I mean, you knew what kind of show you were coming on to, and yet you choose to drink water or iced tea. I mean, I guess that's fine.
She
But,
didn't rate me, actually.
I did not. That is a
That
false
was more
statement. I
for
have no
for
idea what I
Paul and
walked
Rachel.
into.
She
That
has
was more for
What I
Paul and
walked
Rachel.
into.
There is actually a way to have some slight control as well. We have a project management program that prior to COVID would be face-to-face and is now online with participants from all over Victoria. When it was face-to-face, obviously we'd end with a big kind of wine and beer and cheese, charcuterie, all that kind of stuff. So this year we did a trick poll within Zoom telling the participants that we were testing the Zoom software and asked them made up innocuous questions like, what's your favorite alcoholic drink? And found where their addresses were and had said alcoholic drink delivered to their house during the closing module of the program. So we still were able to have that little celebration. And again, a little bit of control over giving people that drink at the end of the day.
Eddie,
Nicely done.
Eddie, you're a classy man. I used to have you here. Now I have you here.
See, it was worth it. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, great move.
really a very
classy.
expensive and time-consuming vehicle for me to be able to have a drink during the end of that program.
Right, but Eddie, you went from here to here because of that invested time. Well done, sir. Well done.
Unfortunately, House Cat is still here.
No, I'm allergic to cats. Cats can go to hell. And now, if you are a cat lover, my name is Hans Ekman, and please send me all your hate mail.
Dogs forever.
We haven't heard that too. What do you have?
Me?
I am drinking
Or Hans?
Fresca because I actually have to write the presentation I'm giving tomorrow, so I thought I better be sober to do that.
Good,
It'd be really
valid.
creative if you didn't, though.
Amy's texting me on the side going, I'm going to kill you.
And if anybody in the 45 people that are watching right now are planning to be at your session, they're also interested in you having something to talk about tomorrow. That's important.
Yeah. You got to
Cool.
talk, right?
I mean, you could talk for an hour. Like,
Not for an hour. That's easy.
you know enough stuff that you could talk for an hour.
And it's only 45 minutes, so
And it's only 40, even better.
Better.
I have been trying to get somebody, Amy, hint hint, to just let me do like an hour of Q&A. I don't want to have to prepare anything. I just want to get up and say, here's what I want to talk about. What questions do you have? And just answer questions for an hour.
that's
what
what
I
Bob
wanna
and I
do.
did during the Great Blizzard of Orlando. That's what Bob and I did. We did Spy versus Spy, took issues, and debated out how to solve them. And it was one of the best sessions we've ever had.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
We'll do that. We'll pitch that for the next live session.
Let's do that. Let's do that. And I've already pitched some other interesting things that I'm not going to talk about yet, but there's going to be some fun in the next couple of years, assuming we can get back to traveling. But it seems that everybody is tired of us and have heard from us ad nauseum. Rachel, you made your debut. Your semi-professional, because you are maintaining your eligibility for the Olympics. Your semi-professional speaking debut. Take us through your session and what was going through your mind.
Um,
And stay off mute, Rachel. Stay off mute.
It's a habit of mine. No, it was really enjoyable. It was my first time speaking at a virtual thing. I mean, I know from before when I was in school and stuff, I used to run I was on council and stuff, so I used to speak in front of audiences. And it was still really nerve-wracking back then. So instead of knees that are shaking, it's now sweating. So it's great virtually.
Mhm.
No, but it was really nice. I think that I enjoyed that people were engaging, and I'm glad that that people found it interesting and asked questions or shared their kind of stuff afterwards as well. So that was a great experience. I hope that later on I hope that later on I can build up some more to talk about or can share with others, and hopefully that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. I especially liked the part where you talked about the importance of mentors and
Yeah.
and how critical those mentors are in your development.
Yes.
And who was your mentor, Rachel? I forgot.
Because I hired Rachel. I interviewed and hired Rachel, and she was on my team for about a year.
Yeah, about yeah.
So hey, and so when she came to me and said, "I want to do this thing," I said, "Let me as your leader, let me make it happen for you and get you ready." Rachel, you did it, kid. Rachel.
Thank you.
Yay!
And it's great because the anxiety of having to speak started in May and then continued
Right.
to now and will continue afterwards.
Right. Because you thought that this was happening in May and that's what we were preparing for. And then you had to wait 6 months. So,
Yeah.
and I have been like hammering at you, like, get ready, Rachel, get ready, get that session ready, get it ready. So, all right. Ashneet, is that enough? Can we go to, I know you wanted to hear Rachel. So we're going to move on to something else.
Well, Erica spoke today. Erica, how do you feel yours went?
It's so funny and the anxiety never really goes away completely, Rachel, because I still 8 years later get some nerves, right? But I try to give myself a pep talk. I was on the treadmill earlier, getting out some energy. I did push-ups right before my session. But it went well. To your point, the engagement is awesome, right? I think we can all agree nothing's worse than when you're training and you're talking and no one is reacting. There's no love, there's no comments. So really appreciate the virtual interaction from the group. And yeah, we had a blast. I co-present with Kate Murray, my kind of presenting partner in crime. And yeah, we had a great time.
It was a great session.
Oh, thank you.
I was there.
Yeah. Thanks for the love too, right? So you chimed in. We try to make our stuff interactive, right? I don't like talking at people. So it was great. Great crowd.
I think you're not. I mean, I know that before every session, and I said this today, like I get really bad imposter syndrome, where it's like this is the talk where people are going to realize I actually don't know what I'm talking about, that I'm a complete fraud, and every time, and it's like you just have to get through it, but like every time. So
you don't have to worry about that. We realized that years ago.
Burn. Brush it off.
And he gets kicked off.
Then our next question goes to Hans. Oh, sorry, he had to drop off.
That was swipe right there.
Damn, Hans had to drop off. I mean, I think that's normal, right? Like we don't know everything, and yet there are people that sort of see us as like. I always looked at before I did this, the people that speak at conferences are all experts. And then when I started doing it, it's like, no, I'm just like a dude. I'm just a guy. Like we don't know everything.
Yep. My favorite was at BBC one year. I was giving a talk to BAs on
Where?
Into a small local conference on security tips for BAs, like basic, what do you need to know about security as a BA? And I got slammed through the entire presentation because there was a security expert in the audience, and I don't know why they came to my session, but all they did was correct everything I said and say I should be doing it differently. It was wonderful.
Oh, that sounds like fun. The heckler. The heckler.
I don't think that would ever happen at BA World.
No,
No,
it wouldn't,
it-
because we have decent people at BA World, not like some little chintzy local conference.
Well,
Better
and,
people show up.
and Jen Bedell is here. I mean, we co-presented a
Jen
session
Bedell.
on. Jen Bedell's here. We
Blockchain.
co-presented on blockchain, and we know nothing about it. And it turned into just like at one point, I was arguing with a guy over the merits of Brexit. Like it evolved. But to your point, Amy, about different and Hans about people at these Project World, BA World conferences, it was tremendous because people, outside of arguing about the politics of international relations, people were like, "Hey, you guys are idiots and you don't know what you're talking about." But we're enjoying it because at least you're admitting that you don't know what you're talking about. So it was amazing.
What had happened was it was an event in Orlando, and someone was supposed to be there to speak about blockchain, and something happened. There's an emergency with their family, and I asked you and Jen Bedell if you could maybe do something, and then you presented it to the room full of people like you're going to be talking about bocce.
Bocce, yeah. We did the history of bocce.
But the thing was, everyone who was in that session had a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Like you just, you have to, the one thing I really like about our events, be them virtual for the first time or the stuff that we do, is they're just always really fun. I think that the speakers and the participants and the advisory board and everything are just it's a real community, and we call it camp because everyone has developed or forged friendships with each other. And that's kind of like for this panel tonight was what I really wanted to show. I miss it like crazy. But
I can imagine.
I still think there has been a lot of fun. Let's talk about going back to fun. Joel Cohen, who kicked things off today.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Any comments? I took a lot from it. I really did. I thought it was really super entertaining. Now I've seen him speak before, so I kind of knew where we were going with a lot of stuff. But I thought that a lot of the things that he had to say really kind of hit right to the heart of a lot of things that we're dealing with. Me in my position, I'm not a business analyst. I'm not a project manager. I run projects, different jargon, they're events, but especially with the team building and, kind of getting collaboration and onboarding from your teams. I took a lot away from that. What about you guys?
I think, Vince, when you talked about the imposter syndrome and Joel talked about the creativity block that you have, I feel like those are the two biggest things that BAs just fight internally about that you don't really talk about. It's the how do I creatively solve this solution? At the same time is how do I walk into a room of people and talk about a process that I'm really just representing? I didn't create the process, and I now have to be the expert on that to a developer, to a project manager, to executives, to whomever.
Yeah.
And so I think it tied in everything together well.
I found the most helpful thing was just actually admitting it out loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually talking about, like, I at some point I will put together a keynote or something on imposter syndrome, because like we all suffer through it. Everybody does, whether we know the name or not. And so like eventually I'll do something. But that was the thing that I found the most helpful there, was actually just talking about it and not pretending. Because like I can't pretend to know everything. That's ridiculous. Nobody knows everything.
Right.
Ironically, that was my talk going into April when we had this, was literally imposter syndrome and then I've had a career change, and I was like, it doesn't feel valid. I would feel like an imposter in my own conversation, in my own talk.
Interesting.
So and I think I've revamped it and changed it now in my head 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. But it's there's a book that Jen Bedell actually recommended on imposter syndrome, like going through, taking a test and being able to evaluate your own struggles internally about it. But I feel like it's the undiagnosed issue across all BAs. Like we all just have it. We just don't really ever talk about it because now it's out there. And then what do you do with it? It's right to your ego.
Mm-hmm. And it can be hard to admit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I like Amy Cuddy's TED Talk. Fake it till you make it.
Until you become it.
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Until you become it. Sorry. Would help to get it right. But you know what I was talking about?
Sabby's piping in here, Vince.
What's that?
Sabby's piping in here. Sophie Sabby saying, this is all BA talk. Where's the PM talk?
Sabby, you know what, brother? Email. You know what? I'm going to send you the link right now. Are you ready to come on? If you're ready to come on, join the show, rep those PMs, and let's hook it up, brother. I'm gonna email you right now.
According to the project schedule, we're not getting to that until the next release, so sorry, PMs are just going to have to wait.
You know what? He's right. He's right. It's analysts and PMs after work.
Yes.
So let me email.
We already have Paul.
Right here.
Yeah. Call the PM. Call the PM.
He's at Paul's in Center Square.
Yes, he is.
I'm all in. You're cracking jokes right now. I'm in the center.
Wait a second.
Schedule and resource plan.
The bottom.
And then he's not.
Fine. But no, I don't think it's a PA thing. I think it's a professional thing. At some point, PMs have this too, right? Where, I was working with the Department of Defense on a project. I don't know crap about a missile or any of that dorky stuff. All I know is how to run the project, right? And I just run the project. And it was very daunting to be looked upon as a leader when I had no idea what it was that this thing they were building, but I could still do it. I could still get it done.
It's exactly that, right? It transcends most industries. It's any professional high-level position or even medium to high-level position. Lots of people have it, so it's great to talk about. I like the acknowledgement of the lack of efficiency as well. I don't know how everyone else feels about working from home if they weren't used to it before, but struggling with inefficiencies are quite high up there right now. Everything takes longer, everything's harder. So it's nice that he touched on that their process is not efficient in any way.
Yeah. Virtual is pretty tough trying to get everybody onto the same page. And, because you can't read the visual cues, right, necessarily, because the teeny tiny little picture on the screen of their face, and it's like, what's going on in there?
You can read some cues, Paul. You can read some cues. It's just that this doesn't really fly well in work meetings, because you know exactly what I'm thinking right now. Right? But I see your point, and I agree. For me, I'm never if I have my way, I'm never going back to the office ever. Like, this is the best. This is the best, and I don't have a say really. But I hope I never have to go back.
Oh my goodness, Jim Bedell.
Get to stay employed. But get to stay employed. Let me just throw that in there. Get to stay employed.
Yeah, employment is good. I like the hybrid model where you're sort of virtual and you're sort of in the offices. They're calling it the hub concept. It's I just got this out of the CFO leadership meeting that I was in. They're going to start building hubs. They're not going to build offices anymore. They're building hubs, and the hubs are meeting rooms and space where the team can get together to do their things, and then the rest of the time they spend it at home.
Right.
I'm all for that.
I like the blend. I like the mixture of it. But I miss these events. I just messaged you, Amy. I wish we were all in Vancouver right now or somewhere in a neutral place.
Well, we were supposed to be, right? I think this was the week of Vancouver.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there over Halloween.
Yeah, well, like this is Halloween week.
Years ago, where the only two people who dressed up for the conference were me and Eddie.
To quote the great Jack Skellington, "This is Halloween. This is Halloween. It's Halloween." But
that was that was deep.
Not bad, right? but we're joined by a surprise guest who simply got on the show by complaining. Savvy, so PM.
You'll make a good CIO one day.
Thank you, Hans. Thank you.
Maybe.
I know how to get in.
Maybe. But Sabi, the so PM, welcome to the show. What are you joining us with tonight? Beverage wise.
Or in general.
Or in general, yeah. I mean, like, what are you up to, brother? I don't know what that is. What is that?
Oh, it's vitamins, buddy.
Oh, okay.
No beverages, just vitamins. Get your vitamin D and vitamin C in there.
You know what? And I'm gonna let that slide because you said vitamins, which is the way that I pronounce it when I'm being saucy. So
When you're on the sauce?
Just when I'm being. Did he leave?
He's gone.
Yep, that was it.
He left.
You scared him away.
Oh,
He
I
said
know
what he
it's
wanted to
that.
say.
Your magic
all
is
right,
said
you
what he
are
wanted to
next.
What a guy! Like he complained to get on the show.
come back.
He's got to come back and
Echo-
take a selfie with us.
Echoing
That
his
wasn't me, by
comment,
the way.
there's actually research that's showing that vitamin D will help reduce the duration of symptoms for COVID. So there is evidence that vitamin D has a positive effect. And with the rates about to skyrocket, now might be a good time to buy a bottle. Plus anything else you're afraid of being out, because the panic runs will start up in a couple weeks probably.
Oh yeah,
Right.
it's already started. People buying pork again. I'm like, what is this fascination with pork and COVID? I just
Pork.
Bacon never goes out of style.
That's true. I mean,
What?
yeah, bacon is delightful.
Bacon is delightful.
It is delightful. So
I love bacon.
Okay. The reason I got out, Vince, was because you changed my name, buddy. I tried to change my name. Now it was the So-So PM and the Sometimes PM. Come on.
Yeah,
I wanted to be a super awesome PM.
okay, you know what? Let me see what I can do for you.
Sabi, I'm waiting for the selfie.
You got it, buddy.
I
I'm
know
always ready.
everyone's waiting for the selfie.
Bobby,
Let's
for
do
you,
it.
brother. Bobby, the super awesome PM. There you go, my man.
You got
How do you inject vitamin D, David? I don't know.
The same way you inject anything.
Yeah, I guess.
Open
Buddy,
mouth, drink.
you don't know it's United States of America, buddy. People are injecting all kind of crazy stuff here.
Yeah, bleach.
Bleach and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, mouthwash.
mouthwash. That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the hand
Fluff.
sanitizer.
You can for all my New Englanders, you could inject fluff straight into the vein. That's good
Yep.
stuff. Yeah,
Are you talking about the marshmallow spread
yeah,
that we delivered to your workshop class
yeah.
in Boston?
Because I had never heard of fluff, and
Yep.
so
Love
Lee
it.
Waxman, Lee went on a mission. I think it was Lee went on a mission
Yeah.
to make sure that I had fluff, that I got to try fluff before I left New England.
That's right.
And
I've never had it. How
It's
is it?
very sweet. It's like eating melted marshmallow. It's so you put it with like peanut butter to make
And
a
white
fluffer
bread.
nutter, and it's very. I didn't get my proportions right, Erica. So I had way too much marshmallow. It was
No, that
it
doesn't
wasn't
exist.
good. It was
You
Too
know,
much marshmallow does not exist.
No,
Well
I
done,
know
those
Steve.
foods you try and there's no value in them, so you wish you had never tried them. Well, that's going to be on my list of those.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I said it at a workshop with like 40 people, and so when they went and made me a fluffer nutter, I had to eat it. I couldn't not, and it was I did the same thing, same group, also in Boston. Boston tends to be a bit of a
We're trouble.
pain in the ass group, where they went and got.
Fun.
I raged against pumpkin spice
Oh,
and how
yeah.
it is an abomination, and I had two groups go out and get me pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkin scones, and as a Canadian, I have to say thank you and eat it. Like I can't throw it in their face. I have to say thank you, otherwise my passport gets taken away. So I did it, and I was so angry that whole day.
When you sent them out on adventures,
I
you
would
told
love to
them to
see
go
Can-
out and I think be innovative.
I did, and that was that again. Never again will I do that.
Plus, it's
Oh,
led to
that's
this
the word.
conversation right now. This has to be the first time I've ever had a Zoom call where we've had the word fluffernutter used more than once. And someone has posed injecting vitamin D as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have questions for him.
You know.
Yeah. What's up, Sabi? Not,
So
I mean,
how-
you pushed your way in here. Now you
Yeah,
have
so-
questions. Like what? What do you want? What do you want?
So how many of the BAs on this call want to become a project manager when they grow up?
None.
I don't want to grow up.
No.
What does that mean?
I was gonna say, you know, this is an analyst meeting, and I wish I had $1 for every meeting that got interrupted by a PM wanting to come in and control it. And then Sabi just came in perfectly. It was beautiful.
Well, AJ for the win. AJ for the ladies and gentlemen, the people of Tampa Bay. The people of Tampa Bay have spoken.
Oh my
Tampa
God.
Bay is better than Seattle. Or Portland, sorry. Tampa Bay.
If we're gonna throw shade, I feel like, you know, we should at least just do it and let's get it over with.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I've been hoping this show turns into that. So
Oh,
yeah,
really?
let's.
Oh, what's
This is like
this?
this is like Festivus. Like this is the airing of grievances. What do you have to say?
Me personally, I don't know that we have enough time for this session, or you know, I want to give everybody else an opportunity to speak. So I feel like I would misrepresent things by myself.
AJ, what's on your mind, man? What's on your mind?
Collectively, or just about PMs in general?
Well, I don't know, man. Like you started down this road of like being dramatic, and now, like I'm feeling underwhelmed. Like you need to rage right now, please.
So
It's a safe space.
Nobody's watching.
Exactly. I don't know if it's safe because it's recorded in perpetuity, you know, and it's going to be out there, and then all of a sudden I'll try to talk at a PM conference and I'm canceled before I even start. So, like, I don't want that to happen.
Oh,
I found a disturbing clip.
Say that you will not be blackballed. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
AJ, come on, get some courage, buddy. Come on, say.
Courage. Wow. No, I don't.
AJ, you live in Florida. We're not supposed to care about anyone else's opinion.
See, but the thing is, I'm not from here, so, you know, I bring some of that Midwest culture down here to
You still care.
average everybody else out. Yeah, but no, I do feel like there was a conference that we attended in Orlando, and I'm blanking on the gentleman's name, but they're talking about wearing the PM and BA hat, you know, and like you can do both. And I feel like that's a completely, so like simultaneously, and I feel like you're just arguing with yourself at that point, and I don't.
Schizophrenia.
Oh, wow. Everyone's throwing shade already. Comments are blowing up. This is great. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
AJ, it's okay not to have any goals. It's fine.
You don't need goals. The PM will assign them for you.
That's right. Yeah.
I will pull it out of my butt and I will hand it to you. It's good.
By the way, you're already
And
late.
Uh,
you will say thank you, and you will execute. Damn it.
You're already late. Would you like to explain to the team why?
And then Erica can come in. She can make her 15% on your salary, and then there we go. We're all even now.
I don't know where you
not
all
10,
are
15,
working. The
buddy.
BAs are
Outside.
making less.
Really? Oh, yeah, I saw that. What's that about?
Yeah.
AJ, you only live 15 minutes from me. I will come over there.
I know. That's actually true. That's true.
Well,
Remember
we've
when
got
we
25
met?
minutes
We all
left in
had
the
a
show.
nice
That
dinner
could
together
actually
last
happen.
This is one of the reasons, though, I love networking and conferences, because AJ and I live in the same community in Tampa Bay and had never met each other until Amy decided to come to the #1 in the U.S. thinking about prospecting and having an event here, and then she introduced AJ and I, and it's been magical ever since.
No, that's true, because I was down there doing site inspections because we were looking at moving Orlando to St. Pete's or Clearwater, and I was doing a site inspection of a gorgeous hotel on Clearwater Beach. Gosh, I wish we could do the event there. It was stunning. It was just really super expensive. But you two came and met me, and then we all had dinner together. And and you two had just met, and that was awesome. And that's what networking is all about, is like keeping up with those connections that you meet at the events. And a lot of people, you meet so many fabulous people, and it's like, oh my God, I have my new best friend, my new BFF is in this class with me. But then it's the kind of after the event, not keeping up with those connections that kind of is where most people fall down, myself included. But
right? Like the euphoria of the event is over.
Yeah.
like you almost become, and I think it was in Fight Club where Edward Norton described them as single serve friends. Like you sit beside them on an airplane, they're your friend, and I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people on planes, and then it's like you're telling them your whole life story, and then at your destination, like you never see those people again. It happens. Right? Like
frequently, yes.
A lot.
I gotta say, Amy,
like
you are
anything,
one
right?
of the best, if not the best, I would say, at making introductions and introducing people to each other. Of all of the years I've been coming to the conferences with you, you do a fantastic job of getting people to speak to each other and connect with each other. And then people do become friends. We are friends. We get to connect with people year on, year out. Even events, I'm sorry to say, Amy, when I've been in Vancouver and you haven't been there, there's people you've introduced me to that I'll get on well with and have a night out with. So I appreciate it greatly and always will.
Who's cutting my grass?
That's an offline conversation.
Thanks, guys. I have to drop off. Thank you. Good to see you all.
Later, Sabi.
Can we take one more selfie? I grabbed my Halloween apparel.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, I want a costume.
Perfect.
All right.
The Sabi selfie.
See you, folks.
It's like a Van Gogh,
Take care, guys.
only less.
Later, Sabi.
Can't wait to see that
All
on
right,
Twitter.
now we're back to symmetry. Oh, that's so much fun.
Oh my gosh! Oh, it's in the center
It's
square.
freaking me out, man. Like
Everyone's so much bigger. Yeah, that's
that imbalance.
Because the PM threw us off, is that why? Or is it just
Yeah.
because we're back to no, we're not doing that again?
Square.
It's symmetry.
Okay.
It's
Got it. Oh, you meant physical.
Square.
We have perfect vertical, horizontal, and diagonal symmetry now, and I feel at peace.
So, Amy, I will say that I agree with everything that the rest of the team has said, that these events, I've always left electric when I will come in here from either the networking, from the sessions themselves, from Vince or Hans or somebody pulling me aside and saying, go do this. What are you even doing? Talk to me about it. Go out there and make this happen. So I feel like this is the value of these sessions is kind of going in and having people challenge you. And then, Bruce Gay was on your session earlier,
Oh yeah.
Vince. And so, I've had him send me stuff and say, hey, can you check this out? Here's my business plan that I'm looking to do. What do you think about that? Et cetera. So I feel like I know, right?
I haven't
That's why
been
I said
included in those. Like, what is Bruce up to?
Well, I can't tell it now. I've already
No, it's
said
fine.
too much.
I've got a call with him next week to just
Do you?
catch up. So yeah.
No, this was old. So,
Oh, dude, I'm
but
kidding.
still, okay. But still, everyone kind of connects, and even if it's not right away, it's something that does last for a long time. And I'll still throw sarcastic comments on Hans's LinkedIn whenever I can.
Yeah.
So,
No, and
You're one of
it's
the best.
cool, right? Like there's always people you look forward to catching up with because you know that they're gonna be there. Like AJ, we hooked up in Orlando 2 years ago.
By the way, we did not hook up. That
You connected.
We connected
Networked.
2 years ago, and then last
professionally,
year,
we have talked conversationally, and that's what we've done. But
AJ,
continue.
why you got to make it
It's
weird?
always
brother?
professional.
Yeah.
But I remember coming back. I went out with Bob and Paul and Jen for dinner last year at Orlando. And after we came back from dinner, I was walking back to my room. Everyone, it was like 12:30, 1 in the morning. And this is the day before the infamous blockchain session that I had no idea I was doing. But I remember I'm walking by and I hear Vince, and you and Jen Bedell were on a balcony eating pizza that some guy had given you, and
That is
drinking.
true.
And then I came up and we hung out for another half hour or so. Like it was, that's the stuff that that we don't get now, and that's okay because we will eventually. But like that's how we hooked up.
I find that like the events, like Toronto, for example, Project Rompia World Toronto is the biggest event. It's the longest running, so naturally, I guess it would be. But I find it's the smaller events, which I guess some people undervalue because they think, well, there's only going to be 200 people there. There's only going to be 150 people there. Like Orlando or Washington, which are fairly new. but they're self-contained. They're at resorts, so pretty much everyone who's there is there for like the full 4 days. So it really sort of fosters that opportunity to get to know people a little bit more. Like in Toronto, everyone has to get on their GO train or get here, but the smaller events, I think Vancouver, the same thing. I think that's where a lot of the relationships are really fostered.
Those events are better.
Yeah.
Like I love, like, look, hey, I'm based out of Toronto. I like the Toronto event. It's home. Well, I like going to Boston and Orlando and Vancouver. Like, I like that because you're right, and you described it earlier, and I know historically as camp. Like, it's a chance to catch up with, you know, the people that are on this call. Except Rachel, she's making her debut, and we should probably let her talk a little bit. But also, you know, Jamie Champagne and Jen Batten and Jen Bedell and like all the people that live in different parts of the world that we don't. Adrian Reed, like we don't get to see them very often. And it's an opportunity to like hang out for a couple days and just like kick it and to make AJ really uncomfortable. It's an opportunity for us all to hook up with each other. And Jennifer Forrest, thank you, Steve. I forgot Jofo. Like it's Mindy, Sabi, Jimmy, like Paul Peltier, Lori. Like it's just it's the group. Jimmy. Clinton, like all of us. It's amazing.
We could go on and on.
We could go on and on. Yeah, Erica, it's adult camp. It's camp. Like it's grown-up camp where we get to go out and have fancy dinners instead of like nonsense mac and cheese.
Well, I mean, in Boston every year, I remember Steve said to me, and I didn't really know anyone in Boston very well. I never ran the Boston event. David Barrett, Adam Kahn did, then David Barrett took it over, and then a couple of other colleagues, and then I got on there, and I was like really sort of like, oh, I don't know what these people are going to think of me. I'm new to the scene. And Steve Jones was like, well, on Sunday nights we go to the Cheesecake Factory, and you're welcome to come. And Monday nights are legal seafood. That's how it's kind of been. And there's, you know,
lobster bisque all day, yo.
I know. And everyone's invited. It's not like, oh, but don't tell, you know, it's, and it really.
Don't tell Hans.
Is that like Red Lobster? I don't know. I've never been invited.
Yes, but better. No, you were there last year because after legal seafood, we went to Target.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Because Jimmy needed props.
I was just kidding.
No,
you went to Target.
It was the year of the googly eyes, and I made googly eyes on the lobster ones, and you took a picture.
And on the statue.
I know. I have that saved. I saw that image this morning when I was looking for something else. Maybe I'll add it as a hidden image in my presentation for tomorrow when I start it. I mean, finish editing it.
So, Hans, I have a perfect meme that I could share with you that I shared with Vince earlier. I didn't get feedback on, Vince.
Sorry, man. I was working today. Like... and then I did my talk, and then I went to Rachel's talk, and then I did some work, and then I did here. So yeah, but yeah, go ahead and share. I'll share the screen if you want.
Oh, you want me to share it now?
Yeah, you can. He made this last night, and I'm not sure. So my feedback was I don't understand the reference. So maybe you can explain it to me. And
what?
I didn't get it, man. I didn't get it.
All right, so I want to see from the comments at least if people will recognize it. And so I can share. I don't know which monitor it is. So,
It's very anticlimactic.
Okay. Well, while we're waiting for him to do that,
oh, boo!
Technology happens slowly.
Everyone's back in tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So what is the session you're looking forward to tomorrow? That's what I'm interested to know.
Can I go first?
Yeah, please.
I'm looking forward to Steve Page in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm looking forward to everyone seeing him because the topic is something that, you know, it's not a career related topic per se, but it's about something I think everybody has been struggling with, or at least have had friends that have, and that's about isolation and working from home and stuff like that. So he addresses that, but here's what's really super cool about what he does. Is he's going to talk a little bit about stuff and reference back to his own life. But then he breaks out his guitar and starts singing If I Had $1 Million or Good Boy or like all of the Bare Naked Lady hits are like he's going to sing them. So you're actually having a concert, which is
Well, that's
super
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
What was that I just saw?
I threw it up.
I don't know.
This is the meme that AJ made. But yes, I'm looking. I saw him in concert, Amy, and he's good. He's good.
Vince, do you watch History Channel?
No.
All right.
That's why.
Is this is this going to be a video?
No, it's just an image.
But there we
Aliens.
go.
AJ, I got it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
I got you.
So now
I didn't get it. So
no,
I'm not very bright, so don't count me.
I mean,
I'll hook you up, Vince.
AJ, if you you are welcome to share that. I don't get it, but I'm also like, but it's cool. Like it's cool, man.
Your millennial crowd will absolutely love it. Then Hans will come in and make fun of the millennials, and then it'll be just the whole circle again. But
right.
But yeah,
be
it'll
patient.
be great.
AJ, be patient. He just learned that Piggly Wiggly was a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Really?
No, I didn't know it was a real thing.
He thought it was a joke.
I thought it was like a retailer name that they made up because it was funny.
No.
So
I mean,
Hans
it is
was like
funny, but
talking about the Piggly Wiggly, and I'm like, that's not a real place. Come on, man.
I had a friend who was a bag guy at Piggly Wiggly's, Weston Justin. Yeah. They used to have bag contests. I'm sure he would appreciate me telling that story. In Florida, by the way.
Is it like a southern states thing or?
Yeah. I think
Grocery bagging contests, and it would like all the grocery stores would get involved in it. And my friend Justin apparently was a magician, and they nicknamed him Bag Bustin' Justin, and he was like,
but for a different reason.
The champion of Florida.
Yeah.
Justin. I gotta remember that one.
They did that on Curious George, so I'm well aware of grocery boy bagging contests. I don't see the interest, but anyways, that's kudos to you, Justin.
I would participate in that. When I retire, I kind of want to bag groceries.
Yeah?
I'm serious.
Why?
I enjoy it. I always ask to bag my own groceries. I think it's fun.
What is the appeal, though?
I don't know. To each their own. It's just like you try to fit it in there. I like puzzles. Do you like?
It's like Tetris.
Eliminate waste.
What is Tetris?
It's like Tetris. Okay.
Eliminating waste, Vince.
I know, Steve.
It doesn't exist in England.
I'm being provocative in my question asking, like a proper host.
I haven't really analyzed
hey, I agree.
To extensively.
No, Erica, I'm with you. To each their own. But like,
it was a very new experience for me moving to Canada. You'd go into a grocery store and like in England, everywhere you bag your own groceries. So for the first 25 years of my life, you bag your own groceries. You get into a line in supermarket in Victoria and somebody's like grabbing your stuff. You're like having kind of a fight with them. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is my
hands off my legs.
He was to do it. Like, this is right.
So in the South, they have Publix, and Publix is a huge grocery store. I think they ended up buying out Piggly Wiggly, but they also have people that carry out your groceries to your car for you. And generally, they happen to be either young, kids that are just starting out with, like this is their first job, whatever, or retirees. And so I might have somebody that's 85 years old that asks me, can I carry out your groceries to your car? And, I'm like, no. I got this. But then you kind of want to do it. You kind of want to like, yeah, sure. But then you don't know. It's a very awkward experience to be a part of.
Is it because like at that point you've purchased them and they're yours and you just don't want to let go? Or is it like the age?
Well, I mean, first of all, I don't feel like if you're 85, you should work unless you want to, just because you want to socialize, etc. So I don't feel like, and then having somebody carry, a 40-pound bag of stuff to my car, I just don't feel like that's appropriate either.
Right. Don't they have gas with them? You should ask them if they'll come back to your house and help you unpack them. Be like,
what? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
AJ doesn't like old people.
Oh, wow. See, how do you know there?
My left arm really hurts.
Well,
if
then-
you wouldn't mind, I live 5 minutes down the road. Can you come with me? I'll show you where I can go.
Yeah, then he is in the wrong state. Because we export about 50% of our over 65 population to Florida every year. So enjoy, my man.
Not
hopefully
anymore.
Wellington one day.
Not anymore. Yeah,
Not
I mean,
anymore.
there's
You know, you
there's
guys-
other stuff going on. There's
Yeah.
there's
You
some
can't
stuff.
you can't travel here. I'm taking care of. I have a couple units in my building with folks from Toronto, and I'm taking care of their awesome view that I kind of want to steal.
Are they sitting empty right now?
Yeah.
Oh, Amy's there tomorrow.
Listen, man, I've done the 2-week quarantine. I've got it down. I'm good to come down there, sister.
I mean, Amy, you can come hang out with me. You know.
By the way, that quarantine only lasts in Canada. Down here, you can just go to the restaurants.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's only a
yeah.
one-way quarantine.
We're back.
we've had
Oh, no,
different
I know, I don't have
experiences,
quarantine
haven't
when I
we?
go down there. When I came back, though, I had to for 2 weeks, and that was like worth it. But it's but you don't have to do it when you go. I think it's pretty much in every state, right?
You'd
Yeah,
like
we
to
don't
think
care.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It depends on the state.
that's a problem. Rachel, what do you think? What do you think, Rachel? Weigh in on this political discussion. What do you
No,
think?
no. Let's get away from the politics.
We haven't even got to the election yet. That's a good point.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
Hey,
I have no idea to what
it
you're
is
referring.
it is not our fault. A PM cut the requirements gathering phase of our COVID response, and that's why we didn't do it, and we went straight into development.
There it is. There. You know what? That's a perfectly cromulent explanation.
Cromulent.
I was so
That's a
happy to
good word.
see.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
It's
People
a made up word from The Simpsons.
Oh, is it really?
It is.
And a perfect use of it as well.
Right? Right? Hey, I'm trying to embiggen this
Oh,
show, right? And a noble spirit embiggens the smallest man, which is a perfectly cromulent use of the word. So,
What the frell is he talking about?
I think that's a Married with Children reference.
Can we switch gears a little bit? Amy, what are you dressing
Yes.
up as for Halloween?
oh,
Well, here's the thing. There's nothing going on because we're back in stage 2 here in Toronto. So there's really nothing that's going to be happening. However, I have a little fallback that I can probably demonstrate for you right now. I'll be right back and you can tell me who I am, okay?
I mean,
I'm a little terrified now. Erica, what have you done?
Not Chris.
Daniel.
we're doing a virtual costume competition.
What have you done? I'm gonna mute Amy because she's talking to Daniel, and I don't think she knows that we can hear her.
Just give it to
So
me.
I'm just gonna mute her. So I mean, we've got 7 minutes left. Why don't we, instead of going around the horn and saying, you know, what are the last minute thoughts? Why don't we talk about Halloween and we'll come back to Amy because she's getting ready. But you know what, Erica, we're gonna start in the middle with you. What are you doing for Halloween?
Well, I'm gonna move to my Halloween wall.
Okay.
If no one minds. With that. And I don't know, I'm just gonna walk around and look at decorations, I think.
Not
People
dressing up
really
as
went all
anything?
out with decorating their houses. I just dress up as festive every year. I don't have a ton of space. So every year I buy one more accessory
Right.
to just add to my festive look.
Right. Okay. Respect. That's awesome.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like there's respect there.
I'm not. No. Whenever I say anything, I always say what I mean. So if I thought it was like silly, I would tell you. But like,
Good.
I'm good. That's awesome. Hey, you know what? I don't do anything. Like I'll go next. I don't do anything for Halloween. I'm not a Halloween guy. Like I'll go and get some candy, and that's about it. I don't even have kids, and I go get candy. Like it's just. No, I'm just joking. I bring my girls, and then I steal their candy.
What happened to your children?
I have kids, and then they get candy, and then I cherry pick. So I mean that's me. Steve, Oh, you know what? Let's go to Amy because it looks like she's ready.
I'm failing miserably. I'm
Amy.
failing miserably.
What's
I got
up?
it.
go with
I got
Patsy
it.
from
Yeah,
Habitat.
it's a great outfit. Great
Wait, what are
idea.
you?
I was trying to get my beehive just right, and I had my empty
You need the
stolies
cigarette.
here, and
Who's Patsy?
well,
Absolutely fabulous. British TV show.
Oh, I
think
know
I
that
did
show.
I
I
think
do
I
know
might have.
that
Oh, there we
show.
go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's
That's
it.
it.
There we
That's
go.
it.
Okay.
That is it.
All right.
Thank
And,
goodness I keep prop cigarettes lying around just for,
yeah.
such an
Just for
occasion.
just for the
Just for
outfit.
such an occasion.
it looks like
Mindy.
Mindy is also in the spirit, who will be putting on a onesie. So
What
yeah,
kind?
Dude,
We need to know what kind of ones.
Mindy. Yeah, we need details or a picture. Now we have to be careful because the first time I met Mindy, like within like a minute of meeting her, she made fun of me for being tired after a plane ride, and then I challenged her to wear her pajama pants to my session the next day, and she did it. So I think if we're pushing Mindy, we may be prepared for some blowback. But
Yeah, Mindy, it doesn't count if you wear that every day. It's not a Halloween costume.
well, and she was doing a session on remote working, and it was like very fitting. So it was like, you know what, respect. Steve
Mindy had a
Jones.
question about pajamas.
Steve Jones. What are you doing for Halloween, brother?
I have no plans other than maybe watching Mandalorian.
Yes, I am finally caught up. I'm there. I'm good. I'm with you.
Boy, let's see.
Eddie.
And refill.
I do a big party every year, which obviously won't be quite the same this year. But we get a license to set off loads of fireworks from the local fire department, so we're still doing that. And we get everyone's just going to drive up our street, park their cars, and stand near their respective cars and watch the fireworks show. So we can still do it. We're just not having everyone in the house. Yeah, absolutely serious.
I've seen video footage of things they do there. And by the way, Eddie probably has the two cutest little boys you've ever seen in your life, next to my nephews, of course.
Of course.
Maybe they're watching, which they might be.
So Amy,
Depends
next
on what
year,
time of the day it is, but yeah, they are cute most of the time.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But no, we do it every year, and we'll be doing it this year too. So it's the only time in Victoria you're allowed to light fireworks. And personally, I'm quite fond of lighting fireworks. So if they'll let me do it on Halloween, I'll get a license on Halloween.
Sure.
should
Amy,
come to
we
Florida.
need to be in Victoria next year.
Yeah, you should come to Florida, Eddie.
An
'cause
event
you
in
can.
Victoria, which was. I never want to say one event is my favorite because it's not. It isn't the time that I go to Boston. I love
It's juicy.
Boston. Then I
This
go
is
to
juicy.
Orlando.
Yeah.
But there's something about Victoria that's just pretty magical. Like I loved running the event there. And maybe if we do it next year, which I think we should be doing smaller events, right? Because that's safer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That we could do one in Victoria around Halloween. So
Yeah.
then we could all go to Eddie's house.
Done.
You're
Sign
welcome.
me up.
You're very welcome.
Sign me up. Eddie.
We'll get a couple of kegs. We get lots of wine in, lots of food.
We're not
We
doing
can discuss logistics. We can talk about that. Yeah. Awesome. Rachel. Debutante Rachel. What are you doing for Halloween, Rachel?
Not much actually. I don't think I'm gonna dress up. I always have a pair of bunny ears in case, anytime. But I'll probably just watch a Harry Potter movie because I'm trying to get through all of them. I've only seen, I think from before I only got into like the fourth one, Goblet of Fire. Yeah. So now I'm on to 3 more movies left.
Well, with that, great segue into Mr. Harry Potter. Hans.
I'm probably doing much of nothing. I will probably be out in the woods all weekend long because it looks like a gorgeous weekend here, and our neighbors are trashy with too many decorations, so we turn off our lights just so we don't have to acknowledge that they exist.
Paintball guns?
What was that, Steve?
Paintball.
I think paintball guns.
No, I don't think Hans is messing with paintball guns.
I wish I could, and I have fantasized about it many times, and they would never hear a thing.
That is, that's terrifying. Paul.
Lucky we're not recording this.
Yeah, and being broadcast all over the internet. Yeah.
Everything I do is legal.
Yeah. What am I doing for Halloween? I'm throwing candy at children and yelling at them to get off my lawn.
So it's a Saturday.
So officially, Paul is the old man of the group. All right, that's fair.
At least he's not turning off the lights and pretending he's not home.
Which is what I'm doing.
Because there's candy involved.
Yeah, just eat the candy yourself. And finally, last but not least, the final word goes to my man in Tampa Bay, AJ Hawley. AJ, what are you doing, man?
So my wife made the mistake of allowing me to decorate for Halloween. She said you can do whatever you want to. And so then I did that, and I went to Joann Fabrics. I'm not sure if you have Joann Fabrics in Canada.
We have Fabric Land. It's better.
Okay.
It's got an awesome jingle.
Okay. I'll never forget the look that I got in Joann Fabrics when I went, and I got 4 ladies' styrofoam heads and carried them out with me. And one lady looked at me like it was the most disgusted look I've ever seen a person ever give me. And she thought that I was going to do something terrible with these, I guess. I mean, I made them into zombie heads, but it was definitely that was not where she was going with that line of thinking, apparently. So I made zombies in our house, and it was fantastic. We had, so I have pallets set up. It looks very creepy, and I don't know that I'll be able. I'm sorry.
Can we see it?
Yeah. Give me a moment on that.
You can have a quick tour.
Yeah. So I can't take you with me, but I'll show you some pictures. I did keep some of those, but what I did do. I did take pictures of it, but I also brought the neighbors' kids over to make the paper mache heads for the zombies, and it looks pretty cool. I'm kind of impressed with it, to be honest. But and then my wife will be handling it. She made all the candy last week, or not made it, but like packaged it up yesterday, I think. And she packaged it up in like little bags, so we're going to be using grabbers to hand it out to kids because COVID. And then I get a Tyvek suit, so I'll look like a big scientist, and I get to be super COVID safe and look like a zombie infected scientist. So I'm super happy about it, actually.
Jennifer Bedell says that sounds like an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah. All right. So the story behind it is, as a kid, I wasn't allowed to celebrate Halloween. Yeah, and so it was like religious reasons and such, and so I tried to convince. Oh, by the way, this is where your podcast now goes off the air, I think, or
okay.
just down.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw it under the bus, and this is where things will derail for sure.
Do you want me to go off? Like we can end the broadcast. Do you want me to end it?
Well, no, I think people want to see the pictures of the head.
Okay. I'll do the pictures first, and then we'll come back to the reasoning.
All right.
And then I have to run anyway, and I need to know before I go.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
The books on Hans' shelf while we're waiting for the photos, because we could find something good in there.
So I'm just trying to say, I was trying to
tremendous green screen.
Is it? Oh, that's right.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, look at that.
All right. Okay, we've reached that episode. This is the final episode of Analysts After Work. Thanks, everyone.
AJ has to show his thing.
Hold on.
Picture.
I'm doing it right now.
I know, but we've got gas mask Hans now. Like.
No, I am your father.
AJ, I can't wait to see you in person. Yeah.
I know. It's going to be so much fun.
Do I have to come down there to facilitate this?
No, we hung out without you.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah. We let me know when you can see my screen there.
Yeah, let me. There we go. There we go.
I think we're good.
There we go.
Don't
Yeah.
control.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh.
You're
What's
talented.
That is good.
So I got to make all those, and that was a lot of fun.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's
I
some
won't
skill, my man.
I won't say the consulting firm that I used to work for, if those were their shirts or not. I will definitely not say that's what I could do with those.
Or if the bodies were the missing people from the retirement trailer park near his house.
We'll buy it.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Hold on,
it was
that's your
fun.
house?
Yeah. We
I'm
should hang
coming
out.
over.
Please do.
Send me your address. Text
All
me.
right, we'll do. Yeah, so those are all with lights. Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing.
Did you name them?
That's great.
Did you name them?
I did not. Well, I mean, after the kids.
Because
that
I
helped
totally
with
would.
the-
I totally would.
Yeah.
Plus, you
Well,
could dress up like one of them and stand completely still in the middle of all four of them, and then jump out on the people that you think would be most scared when they're very sure
I am
that they're just
terrified of
cold.
Eddie.
Really?
I am terrified of Eddie and Halloween. That's very unpleasant.
And then
Oh.
do the Paul thing and throw candy at him and tell him to get off your lawn.
You can
That would be
incorporate it
perfect.
all into one.
All
Wait
right,
for them to get up to your house, the youngest kids and the oldest people, wait for them to get to your door, just as they're sure that they're just dolls, then aggressively throw candy at them, shouting at you to get off my lawn. That's perfect.
Listen, this goes
Yeah,
all
but you don't have to wait for
because-
Halloween. You can just do that.
But this is what Joel Cohen started out the day with. He's talking about what was it called, Steve? You and I talked about it, the puke
The puke draft.
Yeah, puke draft.
draft. So you start off with like your intention, and then everyone builds on it. Because look, he talked about like standing beside one. Next thing you know, he's like throwing candy at them and screaming.
And terrifying them.
Yeah, exactly.
I will not be
and-
throwing
It's all
anything
about-
at anyone.
And Jen Bedell is giving extra points if you ping them in the head. Good, Jen. Good. Good.
You see my little dragon.
Let's
Ah,
all
yes.
drag him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's
Fabulous.
5 foot tall, sitting in the front lawn. That was
That
Oh, you
thing
moved
went
him to the
off when I
front?
was there last month.
yeah.
Moved him to the front, Paul?
Yeah, I moved to the front yard, and the neighbor kids. Well, his name was Woodrow, is what he was named, but the kids were calling him Freddie. It was hilarious.
It's not hilarious the sound it makes.
Oh, it does growl. Yeah, yeah.
Out in the backyard reflecting, maybe. And it goes.
I know. While it was growling, it kept the squirrels out of the trees. Trees again. It was loud too. It wasn't like
It is very loud.
It was very loud. It was like. "Oh."
Awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, everyone. We are over time.
We are over time.
So let's call it. For everyone that joined in, Mindy and Jen was. I think Jen Bedell was here. Danelkis. You know what? Everyone that was
Danelkis?
online. Everyone that was here.
Judy Alter is
Steve,
there.
Amy, AJ, Erica, Eddie, Rachel, Hans, Paul. Thank you so much for being on the Project World edition of Analysts After Work, and we'll catch you in the next episode. See ya.
Thank you,
Bye, everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Hey, everybody.